Well, speaking of your friends, I'm a huge fan of Kyle Richards. I'm a huge fan of Housewives of Beverly Hills. I have to ask, what is it like working with Kyle Richards or have worked with her?
It's kind of a joke.
I love her. And I love it when you hop on their season. It's just, it's always so much fun.
Why is it a joke?
It's a joke because we honestly spent every day, like the first 4 hours of our days, sitting in her closet talking.
Oh, I love that.
Gossiping. Yeah. Like, we didn't get anything done. I think her husband was like mad at us for the first year that I worked there because we just had like never, like, I don't know. It was weird. It was my first year in LA. It was my first month in LA when I met her. She had never had like an assistant, our lady sitter. And we honestly would just sit and talk. And we became like really close friends very like quickly. And then once season one had ended, she had went through so much in season one that we honestly became family after that first season. And it's been like 11 years. And no matter what she asks, I would drop the phone, I'd drop everything tomorrow. She picked up the phone and said, "Hey, I need you." And she would do the same for me. It was weird. I was like, I was getting paid to like sit with a friend. Like, it was honestly strange when I look back at it.
I mean, I feel like I can kind of relate in the sense of like, even me nannying myself with like older kids, like I'm just hanging out with you. It's just like a fun thing. And their moms, like we would end up just having cocktails after, just like, hi, but can I get a paycheck? Like, it's just kind of weird, you know? Because it's just like, they end up being like your friends.
No, we just kikied. I mean, look, we got a lot of shit done. I don't think she knew what was going to hit her. That was the funny part.
Yeah.
When I started working for her, Atlanta Housewives, New Jersey, and New York had already been out. So I knew what to expect as far as what Housewives was like. She had never seen the show before. So she was like, wow, it's going to be fun. We're just going to film. It's going to be great. And I'm like, the filming is not the problem. It's when you have to do press. It's when, fans start to react. It's the blogs. It's the reunion. Like, you have to sit there for 12 hours a day and like film this reunion. And she honestly went into it with like virgin eyes. And after it was all said and done, she was like, "Oh my God, how did you know all of that?" I'm like, this is like what I do. Like, I am on the pulse. My finger's always on in everything. So, and it was interesting because I was only supposed to be there for 90 days. And then 5 years later, I was like, hey, I think we should stop this.
Do you feel like because it was her first season and then your first time in LA, your first job in LA, it made you closer? Like a better bond?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that we interestingly enough, started two really major life moments at the same time. I was moving to Los Angeles. She was starting Real Housewives. Mm-hmm. I started the first day that she started filming.
Wow.
And we bonded in that. And I feel like sometimes, like even when I talk about the show now, everyone says, "Oh my God, you're so biased." Like I'm like, she's my friend and we started this journey together. So yeah, she is my best friend, but we're also very real with one another. I can say to her like, "You fucked up." You know what I mean? And she could be like, "Ooh, you really screwed that up today on TV." And that's what we love about each other. And, it's interesting because the show is kind of the thing that bonded us together. But now we don't really talk about the show. We barely talk about the show.
What role would you say she played in getting you where you are today?
It's really funny when I look back on it and I look at, how she kind of sort of, she's always supported me. She's never, ever been like one of those people who thinks that you're climbing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right.
There's certain people in Hollywood that if you started with them, they see you as a climber because you want bigger and better things. Mm-hmm. And from the start, I will never forget this. She would tell me all the time, like, "You're too big for this. Like, you should not be just doing this. So when you're ready to go."
Personality.
And she would tell me all the time.
Not to cut you off, but you have like that when you like as soon as you came on, you have this energy where you're like, you're bringing it. You are your own person. Like I feel that for sure.
Can you imagine this at
own
15?
it.
Can you imagine this at 15 years old? My mother was probably like, get the fuck out of here.
But I love that too, that she was just so real with you. Like, that she let you be you, but also she wanted more for you. And now look at where you are. You know what I mean? Like, she let you have your moment and you guys can still have that relationship.
And you guys supported each other.
Right.
You know?
100%. Like, I might be the salt and pepper sometimes, and she might be the Spinderella, and vice versa. And she's like the hype man of the century.
Right.
Because there's never a if, and, or but. Like, there were times where I laugh all the time because if I called her and I was like, hey, I need a favor. And she'll be like, if I said, hey, I need 10 grand. She'd be like, okay, let me just write the check. And then she'd be like, but what do you need it for? Like, but the question is never like, she's never like, ooh, like,
why?
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, hey, I need to borrow your car for a week. It's never like,
she's a real friend. That's love.
No, it's
love.
It's love. Or she is the funniest thing about her. She's gonna kill me for telling you guys this.
I want to know.
Oh, I want to know.
She's the biggest hypochondriac in the world.
No.
Really?
So there have been times where she's like, hey, can you come to my house? I can't feel my right arm. And I'm like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And like, we live like an hour from each other. And I know in my mind that it's not
She's
that big of a deal.
Right.
But I'm like, let me just call the doctor. I'm like, hey, we need an MRI. Like, I'll sit with her
Just
for 3
entertain it for a
hours.
hot minute.
I'll entertain it for a minute. I'll sit her in the MRI. I'll sit there and like bring magazines and books while she's going through it.
That's
Like,
so sweet.
because it happens once a year. She gets really like, she has a lot on her plate. She's like a mom of 4 who does it all.